you very much for joining us on the AJ channel. It's always a pleasure to have you come along as we go through sports issues that bother on Ghana, basically across board. What can we do? First thing we have to do then is quick straight away to go to the subscribe button, hit it and share. Remember to turn on your notifications so you can get a lot of videos as we intend to bring you so much more, this year. You'd also make sure that you drop your comments, because I know lots of you have thoughts about all of these things. So there we go. I'm in my Black Galaxies jersey. It's a Black Stars jersey, of course, but of course Black Galaxies are using it or a part of the national team. And so we're just going to be talking about what's happened so far as the team gets ready for that important assignment tomorrow against Niger. They're into the quarterfinals of the CHAN ongoing in Algeria, and that happened obviously because Morocco failed to show up, and so CAF ruled everybody was going to get 3 points for that game that was not played against Morocco. The Black Stars lost out to Madagascar in the first game by 2-1, and then managed to beat Sudan by 3-1, and it meant that they were going to qualify from the group with 6 points, right behind Madagascar, who of course, under the circumstances, had 9 points because they beat Ghana and beat Sudan. That's some very, very good showing out there. It was a very, very good result that they had. So in the end, the Black Galaxies are going to be playing against Niger. They have moved from Constantine in Algeria, where they play the group stage games, and they're now in Oran, where they're going to be playing the game against Niger. We're going to have a fantastic preview later on. I'm just going to touch on a few things. We've heard some naughty things about their bonuses and allowances not being paid. Hopefully all of that is being sorted out as they try to face this one and get it off as well. There will be a few exclusions from the side. We're not too sure if Glasson Awako is going to be fit enough to play. He's shown that he's on his way back to full fitness. We saw him in training, the last training in Constantine, and of course the final training session in Oran. Normally the thing about injuries are that you may see the player back and getting into it. He looks like he's putting in the effort and it feels like he's almost there, but being match fit is a different thing altogether. I'm sure Coach Anna Walker and Prosper Ogum will decide what to do on that one, whether he gets to play or not. Daniel Friabane, as you know, was red carded in the game against in the game against Sudan, and so he's not going to be a part of the action for today. I think that opens it up for the likes of Jonah Tukwe and Bagna and basically what I know Walker, the head coach, is going to be doing right in front. So that's about that. And the final training session was great. Also the press conferences before the game. I know Walker spoke, and Abagna as well was in there to speak. He managed to grab them out of the match in the game against Sudan, and they have said what they want to say in terms of hoping that they can go and get it there. It was a pleasant arrival. It was great reception by the people of Oran as they received the Black Galaxies in the CHAN tournament, which is growing to be really, 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 really nice. The little thing about the Black Galaxies is that anytime they have gone through the group stage, of course, into the knockout stage, they've ended up in the final. So in 2009, they ended the final. And then in 2013, they ended up in the final. They lost to DR Congo in the first game, or the first final, and lost out to Libya on penalties in the second final. It's not surprising that Max Okunedu has already been hinting that they have to take their penalties serious, because it was such a painful loss. A competition that Ghana could have easily won in that competition that took place in South Africa. So look, let's just get on to it right now, because I want to speak to Mo Shaban. Works at the Ghana Football Association, of course, but has been paying close attention to the BetPower Premier League, has a lot in terms of information on these players. It was just great to kind of preview it, and we can talk about it. Let's head on to it. Shaban, thank you very much for joining us on the channel. How are you doing? And I guess you have been buzzing with that particular result against Sudan, 3-1.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, we were all looking for a very good performance against Sudan, because going into that game, history were back in Sudan, honestly, because prior to that game, Ghana have never won any second game in the CHAN tournament. 2009, Ghana failed to win their second game, drew against Libya. 2011, Ghana lost their second game against South Africa. 2014, Ghana drew 1-1 against Libya. So the history of the second game in the CHAN tournament wasn't that favorable to Ghana, but obviously Sudan have managed to win all their 2 games prior to that match. So the expectations was that Sudan were going to pick the points, but then Ghana did their best to manage to get that win, because it was a very important win. If you are playing just 2 games in your group stage game, it tells you that you must take every game very serious. And even though that day a lot of people made their comments that Ghana didn't play their best game, for me I think the result was very important. But you look at the weather, I consider the weather as a factor. I'm not sure the players were even expecting this cold weather in Algeria, but then it is something that is really affecting almost all the teams, including Sudan, that Ghana won against. So for me, I think Ghana deserved to win against Sudan, and it was an important victory, especially looking at how the group results were going.
Well, it's always and very important that we have a proper look at the team. We know, they've been training. They've had to move from Constantine. They've had to move into the region where they're going to be playing the game. We saw videos and pictures of them. Hopefully they're fine. But let's look at the analysis of the team right now. Do you think the team has grown stronger as the competition has gone on?
Yes, because if you look at this team, I've always said that we are just missing about 2 key players in the squad. And Mohamed Al Hassan, who was part of the qualifiers, he played all the 4 games. Ghana won 3, lost 1 to Nigeria, and he scored a goal for the team. So he was an integral member of the team. And then Umar Bashiru, who also left Ghana, and he was also an integral member of the team. At least he came in to assist twice throughout the qualification time. So he was also an integral member. But in the absence of these 2 players, almost all the team is available. And if you ask me about the current CHAN team, from the goalkeeping, defense, midfield, attack, the team looks very, very good and then very, very settled for the tournament, because the lad Ibrahim had the opportunity to go to Qatar, and then that alone is a motivation for him to do something in this CHAN tournament. Now, if you look at the right side, yes, Augustin Randolph in the first game messed up, but we equally have a good right back like Augustin Japon, who is currently playing for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. When he came in, he justified that, yes, indeed, he's playing one of the big clubs in Ghana. Then Denis Kosa at the left side, he has not been bad at all. He played the entire qualifiers in the absence of Mo Ibrahim, who left Kumasi Asante Kotoko to Sudan. Now, an area where everybody is talking about, but for me, as a follower of the Bed Power Premier League, I think it is very key, it is very good, and it is building the confidence of Solomon Adomako. He joined Great Olympics last season from Young Apostles, and he has grown, he's getting matured as a good centre back. And for me, Great Olympics in the last 3 years have produced solid centre backs. Jamal Din Haruna, of course, if not for injury situations, is one of the key centre backs in Ghana currently. Ebenezer Setre, one of the keys. So if Olympics have been able to produce Solomon Adomako, I believe that he's one key player that can also make effort. Kunedu Yadom, not two ways about him. He has been phenomenal. He scored a goal for the CHAN team, and then throughout the qualifiers, he has been a very, very important integral member of the team. You look at the defensive midfield role, where it has created a lot of issues, because if you look at the qualifiers, Anawaka would prefer to play Razak Kasim, but this time around, Anawaka prefers to play Dominic Nzombila, and it's something that we all don't understand, because during the qualifiers, he will either play Razak Kasim the home game as one pivot, and then in an away game we play 2 pivots, or he introduces Dominic Nzombila in the second half. But then the coach is now going in for Dominic Nzombila. The key thing is that the 2 players are the same. They are good passers. They understand the game. They're able to block the opponents at their pivotal role. So that is one key area that we all have to pay attention. They have the same quality, and even Nzombila has has that pace and speed more than Razak Kasim. So for me, if the coach is using Nzombila more, that is what he has been able to identify from the video analyst. So these two players are very, very key for our development in the CHAN tournament. We have David Abagana Sandan, and then Suraj Seydou Glass Nawako, who got injured along the line. For me, we have a good midfield with Sylvester Simba, one player who has justified that look, indeed, he is a very skillful player indeed. Then up front, you can't talk about the national team, the Galaxies, without Daniel Banye Efuye. Kofi Koji has joined the team, and in the first game, we all saw what he did. He's picking up gradually. The coach understands why he added him to the squad. Jonah Tukwe also in the second game against Sudan played a very huge role in the team's qualification. For me, I'm not looking at only the results, but I'm looking at the development of the players and what impact they make for themselves. For me, I think this has justified that our league is not down. We have quality. If we pay attention to the league, we are going to produce a lot of players to improve our game.
Just the two questions before we just end this, and we'll have to talk about the big misses. Definitely Bani is not going to be playing, is he? He's not. What are you expecting the coach to do in that respect, and how much of a boost is Glaston Awako coming back to the side?
All right, so I look at the absence of Daniel Bani free, and I see it as an advantage for other players to capitalize on. Usually you go in a tournament. I remember the World Cup, Benzema was a key player for France. So unfortunately for him, due to injury, he didn't participate. It paved the way for other players to also justify what they can do as footballers. And yes, Banye Free has been an integral member in the tournament. He has played so well. I know that he's been marked because he's a key player. Of course, if you have a player who went to the World Cup and played against Switzerland in a friendly game and was a wow in that game, clearly coaches would know him. Aside all the players, coaches would mark Daniel Banye, and that alone would give him a lot of pressure in performing. But that is why probably we have not seen much of him in the tournament. But if I am an worker, I would prefer to go in with the 4-4-2 formation, where I would play a lot of midfielders and use a attacking midfielder as a forward to partner a winger, just to confuse the Nigerian team in order to capitalize on them and then score, because you are playing against an opponent, of course, who are yet to concede a goal in a CHAN tournament. So clearly, they are defensively very good. What they have to do now is to break their midfield. And if I am the coach, I'll play Suraj Seydou and I'll play Jonah up front. And the role of Jonah Tukwe is to sometimes forward force 9 with David Abagana Sandan behind him, just behind him, in order to create that space for them to score the goals. And if you are going in this game, you don't rely on a typical striker, because the Nigerians have a very solid defensive pair. If you're able to capitalize on the midfield, what you will do is to make sure that every player tries at every angle in the 18-yard box in getting the goal. So if I am the coach, I would prefer to play Suraj Seydou and Jonah to play. That would give me a lot of options with runs and pace. Now, with Glass Nawako returning back in the squad is very key. If you have a player who is a good passer, understands how to play these long range passes, knows how to create chances, play from long range, and also a free kick expert. In fact, that would give a lot of options to the squad. But the question is that, is he really fit to come in and play and give us that resource? If he is fit, if Awako is fit on any day, he is one of the players to fear. And for me, the coach would want to start him, obviously, as being part of the team. He would want to start him to get the results. For me, Awako in the midfield, David Abagana Sandan in the midfield, Sylvester Simba, Dominic Nzombila, and Razak Kasim in the midfield should be a tormenting side for the Nigerians. And if Ghana capitalizes on this experience and then play through the instructions of the coaches, I believe that the presence of Glass Nawako would make impact in the current team. And because this is a knockout stage, George, and if you don't take your chances, it will come back to haunt you. And against Sudan were chances that Ghana failed to capitalize. And in this knockout stage, you pick your chances, you make good use of it, you defend very well, and then you are through to the next stage of the competition.
Yeah, we'll definitely be coming back to you, Mo, after the game, whatever the result is. Would have a proper look at it. Would see marks you give the players individually after we've seen the action. We're hoping that they can go all the way to the final, go all the way to win it. I don't know if I'm being too emotional or too sensational, but I think that the Chan team is running in the competition like the under-20 team of Karim Zito that went all the way to the final. They're giving me a bit of those vibes. Not too sure where that actually ends. So let's see how it goes. The team is settled in Oran, and we'll see that game against Niger. Mo, thank you very much for your time. Are you going to attempt any prediction, or you want to stay cool?
Well, the history behind the Galaxies states that anytime Ghana qualifies from the group stage of the Chan tournament, they make
it to the final.
Yes, and so we are looking at it as such that Ghana
that's a huge reputation. That's a huge reputation to stand by anyway. In this days.
Yes, and the best position for the Nigerians have been fourth placed, and for me, we have to capitalize on that. Yes, they want to do well, but I don't see them standing this current Galaxy squad. I always believe that the Bet Power Premier League is the best, and if it is not the best, I don't think the Egyptians, the Tunisians, the Switzerland would opt to get our players in their league. So we have the best in terms of quality of players. So would be showing.
I can imagine how tough a debate will be if I put you out there for everyone to to have a go at you about the best league. But anyway, well, we have something, and it's beginning to show. That's absolutely great. Mo, thank you very much for your time, and hopefully we'll get to talk again when this game is over.
Thank you very much.
All right, so it's all said and done, and so we'll be looking forward to it. Training sessions done, everything just right in touch for it. Remember not to get ahead of yourself. I tried to warn Mo Shaban, and Ghana should be able to get the job done against Niger. But as we have learned in this competition, there are no minnows, and so it's going to be a tough game. Hopefully, the Black Galaxies can come through and make it to the semi-finals, where they play, I think, Algeria or Ivory Coast. It's not, Cote d'Ivoire. Algeria, Ivory Coast, or Algeria, Cote d'Ivoire. That's not going to be easy playing against the host nation under these circumstances, especially when they have loads of guys in the stadium to support them. They have given the competition some great atmospheres. It's almost a fever pitch. I mean, how they view these things, and you can understand in North Africa, a lot of the so-called enclosed local boys are the main boys in the national team as well, some of them. So they really have a good lead on it, and the fact that they have been winning the CAF Champions League and CAF Confederations Cup, and that they have a great appetite for such competitions, and they've done so well. So that will be on another day every single World Cup. We just pray that the Black Galaxies can go out there and get the job done. Simple as that. I was going to add something else to it. Just hope that they can do the job. Wish them well. You can drop your predictions inside the comment section. We'll be happy to read all of them as we go by. So good luck to the Black Galaxies. Thank you very much for joining us on the AJ channel. Remember to subscribe and of course share, and then you turn on your notification, and don't forget to return, because there are more videos coming up. We'll sit again right after the game is over. Good luck to everybody.